Now, the U.S. is losing the global information war, so said Secretary of State Hillary Clinton as she asked a congressional committee for extra cash to spread U.S. propaganda through new media. Clinton said existing private channels are not good enough to handle the job and named as rivals Al Jazeera, China's CCTV and RT, which she watches, she added. And for more, we're now joined live by Gayneh Chichikan, who's in Washington for us. Hello there, Gayneh. So, Madam Clinton was pretty harsh towards U.S. media, wasn't she?
Well, Yulia, here is what we have learned from Hillary Clinton's statement. We're officially at war, information war. That's according to U.S. Secretary of State. By we, I mean English language, non-U.S. run media, which provide alternative views on world news. Views which often run in contrast to the coverage of events by the U.S. mainstream media. Hillary Clinton was defending her department budget in front of the U.S. Foreign Policy Priorities Committee in Congress. She says a major reason the State Department needs money is because, quote, we are in an information war and we are losing that war. And among those media who are winning that war, Hillary Clinton named RT. She basically said the U.S. should step up propaganda efforts and get back, quote, in the game of doing, quote, what we do best. Here is more.
We are engaged in an information war. You know, during the Cold War, we did a great job in getting America's message out. After the Berlin Wall fell, we said, okay, fine, enough of that. You know, we've done it, we're done. And unfortunately, we are paying a big price for it. And our private media cannot fill that gap. In fact, our private media, particularly cultural programming, often works at counter purposes to what we truly are as Americans and what our values are. I remember having an Afghan general tell me that the only thing he thought about Americans is that all the men wrestled and the women walked around in bikinis because the only TV he ever saw was Baywatch and Worldwide Wrestling. So we are in an information war, and we are losing that war. I'll be very blunt in my assessment. Al Jazeera is winning. The Chinese have opened up a global English language and multi-language television network. The Russians have opened up an English language network. I've seen it in a few countries, and it's quite instructive.
So, Gayneh, why did she choose to talk about this information war now?
Well, Yulia, if you think about it, some 5 years ago, Western media outlets, including BBC and CNN, basically had a monopoly in the coverage of world news. Things have changed a lot since then. More and more viewers across the world tune into various foreign media to get a fresh take on the events. RT presence on YouTube, for example, is a real hit, almost 300 million views. CNN has something like 3 million. RT's constant growing viewership is already an indication to many that the days of media monopoly are over and people demand multipolar thinking. Al Jazeera's coverage of the unrest in the Middle East and in North Africa has outdone the U.S. presentation of the events. While many are happy to see this emerging media variety, the head of a U.S. agency that manages the country's government-run international broadcasting has basically called those foreign media enemies. I'm talking about Walter Isaacson's last year's infamous pitch to get more funding for his agency, which, among other media outlets, runs Voice of America. Back then, he said, "We can't allow ourselves to be out-communicated by our enemies," he said. You've got Russia Today, Iran's Press TV, Venezuela's Telesur, and, of course, China. Well, later, he backtracked on this statement, though, and said he was misunderstood. Just a little more on Isaacson's department, which is called Broadcasting Board of Governors. It has a budget of $750 million. That's way more than the budget of Russia Today, RT, Iran's Press TV, Venezuela's Telesur combined. So maybe money does not fully make up for global media clout. Isaacson's statement last year sent a pretty hostile message to foreign media, trying to provide a fresh perspective on world news. But this Wednesday, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton basically confirmed it, saying that the U.S. is at war, at an information war with foreign media.
All right, Gayneh Chichikan in Washington. Thank you very much indeed, Gayneh.